and that's it. Welcome. Hi. Phil from Wargamer Online.
Mark,
how you doing?
good, thanks. You?
You've dashed over here
Yes.
because I made a phone call, and the phone call was, "Hey, whoa, Games Workshop are." I'm just gonna do that. Games Workshop have sent me an email. I knew that would go wrong. Games Workshop have sent me an email, and they said you can open your Warcry tonight if you like.
So why not?
So we're going to do it. So we thought, what better way? We'll do a live show. We can do Q&A. Got the questions up on the chat if you want to know anything about what's in this box.
Hopefully not too much, though.
Well, bear in mind that we'll be kind of rooting through this. This arrived in the post about 3 hours ago. So we're going to be literally digging through this together with you guys. So hopefully you'll enjoy that. Video frozen. Can you guys hear us? I hope so. So, I tell you what, it looks like the video is frozen on our webcam, but hopefully the audio is still working. We're just not going to bother with the frozen one, because look, this one isn't frozen, and we can show you what's happening, so how about that? Mine gone to F5 to the rescue. No video. Evening, ladies and gentlemen, says Sir Nagash. Sir Nagash, that's even better. Let's quick hello to everybody in there. Melanie Dawn and Coleman and Ralph Hummel and AJR saying cheers from Florida. Derpus Maximus is in there and says there it goes. So hopefully you're getting video now. Even that. Oh, what a start to the day. Right, okay. I think we just need to dive into this box and hope that the camera recovers next time I switch to it. But they don't want to see us. They want to see what's in the box anyway, so it's all good. I tell you what, I'm going to look at the back first. What a tease. But what we do know is when we look at the back, you've got the two teams in there, Iron Golem and Untamed Beast. And everything else you need to play Warcry. So how cool is that? I think if I can kind of do this as well. Yep, here we go. So there's a little bit of information about what's gone in the box. 160-page core rulebook, 4-page quick start guide, a 22 by 30 folding gaming table, 20 fighter cards, 4 ability cards, 36 terrain cards, 36 deploy cards, victory cards and twist cards, 18 dice, a ruined city terrain, and all of these wonderful models. Now, the secrets in those 36 deployment, victory, and twist cards, along with the terrain cards, because you draw one each of those to set the game up.
That sets your game.
So we know that's what provides all of the wonderful variation to the game, really.
Yep.
But let's have a look at the models first and see how we go from there. What's in the box 7? Okay, here we go. First things first.
That's a lot of plastic.
It's a lot of plastic. We're going to be having a look at some of this stuff individually as we go through, because we can kind of zoom in on some of the models. But what we've got to start with, I'm just checking I haven't ruined the video setup, is the two teams. These are slightly lighter, different coloured plastic to the terrain plastic. That's interesting. And there is a whole bunch of sprues. I tell you what, let's set the teams to one side. Wow. Oh my, look at those wings. Okay, let's set these to one side and have a look through the terrain. Nice one, Mr. Potter. Thank you very much. Yep, I'm already impressed.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Look at the detail on this terrain. There's not going to be too much commentary here because we're just going to go silent and go, that's incredible. I've already seen these steps are amazing and perfect. The fact you can kind of fit your base in, by the way, yes. I think that's genius. Yeah. Nice little, great bell. That's what you need. Little bell tower look. Oh, fantastic stuff. Oh, this is interesting. We've got iron gatework inside what was, the Sigmarite. So you've got the Sigmarite sort of terrain, haven't you? But then these iron gates. Yeah. That's kind of cool. Very nice. Even more. Oh, these are nice. You know what I'm impressed about first, actually, is the detail of this. This is high detail terrain. They've not, and it's of, they went through like a stage of doing like the cheaper plastic.
Yeah, this is proper.
This is proper detailed terrain detailed plastic. Yeah, there's so much detail going on. Again, we will zoom in on some of this detail as we do a review of the sprue. As you can see, this stuff just keeps coming at the moment. I really like these bricked-in columns there, so where they've almost bricked the window in.
Yeah.
Very cool. That's amazing. And my goodness, that's surely that's
Ooh.
Mr. Sigmar himself with a Sigmar earring.
Apparently
Nice,
so.
nice. I like that. You know what? They'll be available for sale before you know it, won't they? Do you want to be Sigmar? They've really kind of carved his eyes up. I like that. Kind of good way of like scarring his face to kind of deface it in some way. And then we're down to this wonderful divider. Let's have a quick look on the chat. I bet the terrain is made in China. But is there enough space for Phil to put LEDs in the terrain? There's always space for me to put LEDs in terrain.
If there's plastic, there's lights.
I'll LED the bell. I'm going to buy the box just to get the receiptery. I don't think you're the only person. Still not thrilled about the game himself, says Demon Lizard. I want Sigmar earrings, says Melanie Dawn. Don't we all want Sigmarite earrings? I'd wear them.
I don't think I would.
I'd wear them to a tournament.
What would you
know
wear
what?
to a
They're like
tournament?
beard jewellery. I could hang them in my beard.
Yeah, you should do that.
Should we see if this camera's actually working? No, it's not, is it? So we're just going to... What happened to that camera? Why? Okay, let's get rid of this card. Beautiful artwork.
Ooh.
Oh, that's really nice.
I might have this.
So the story behind this, while we're just doing this is at the 8 points, isn't it? Which
Yes.
was the all points.
Yes, it was the
Taken over by Chaos.
trading point, wasn't it, for all the realms?
Yeah, and very affluent, and the height of civilization, and of course Chaos have marched in there, and Archaons come in and taken it all over, and made it a mess. So it's still in the mortal realms, but it's essentially all of these gangs and war bands are feeling the call of Archaon. Which is kind of like a psychic sort of bell that's chiming in all of their heads.
Yeah.
If you've listened to, I've listened to a few of the audio books, and there's a few that the Call of Archaon and stuff like that. Really good books.
Yeah, everyone hears it their own way, don't they?
Yeah, and so they're all heading there, and then of course they're all vying for approval.
Yes.
From the big man himself. So right, we've got a gaming table and tokens here. Shall we quickly rip into this? This is quite exciting, actually. Oh. It'd be really useful if we had another camera angle, but we don't. So I'll try and fix that when we go into the Q&A, maybe. Whole bunch of tokens, which clearly denotes some things. We'll have a look at the bots. Well, they definitely look like wounds, don't they? Yeah. And that could be objectives, maybe, or that's something to do with the teams, isn't it? But we'll come into that. The board itself, that's actually quite interesting. It's not photographic. It's definitely artworked, but look at this. It actually looks like it's been hand-painted. Maybe it is a photographic board and then like touched up afterwards. But those sort of lightning streaks there, those highlights, look like they're a painted edge highlight. That's quite interesting. And it's double-sided. And again, difficult to show on this camera, so I'm just going to do that. But as you can see, you've got this kind of desert area here, and then we've got this sort of night haunt kind of style to it. Dog's chosen a great time to go crazy at stuff as it goes past the house. That's live shows for you, folks. We've got some nice bases, and we've also got card decks. So we've got deployment. I think this is your 36 stack, isn't it? Victory cards, twist cards, and battlefield cards. Okay, again to one side. We're going to revisit these. We've got probably, I don't know, 45 minutes tonight looking through this. Fighter cards and divider deck. Okay, we'll get you opening those in a minute. An ability cards. So there's a deck of 6 in this.
Yep.
Okay, so we've got double cower. Until the end of your next battle round, count each critical hit from your attack actions that target this fighter as a hit instead.
Nice.
So double must be based on this double dice roll that you do.
Yeah, in your initiative dice.
You count 6. Roll 6 dice, see what you get.
Triples you get.
Sample read. So you can do the QR code and get a free sample chapter. I like that. That's saving trees. Go fetch it digitally. And underneath here, more bases and bags to keep things tidy. I always appreciate it when they do that.
I wish I did more often. More games to do.
Yeah. It's great. And then we've got the book and we've got dice. I'll tell you what we're going to do is we'll leave the base in there. We'll take and we'll move the box away. Let's get into the books themselves. The dice we have. Oh, you know what? Everybody likes a good dice. Let's check the dice out. That's not past the house, it's behind the curtain, says someone. Lola is a very loud dog. I'm afraid you can hear her from miles away. So what have we got? So far in the chat, Warcry unboxing. What? Came out of nowhere. Great, says Eric Tice. 2 weeks pre-order time frame. Like the board so far. Looks really nice, says Melanie Dawn. 12 Neef, massive. I'm not surprised 12 Neef is grinning his head off because he's a mega skirmish player. And word has it, possibly one of the best skirmish players on the planet. Travels the world, that guy does, playing skirmish with popular YouTube presenters. Ralph says, I'll be online on Saturday morning and the CC will be ready to burn. Well, what I'm hoping to do this weekend is actually get some gameplay in. So what I was thinking is, it's a small game. It's like an hour. Yep. So if I can hack this terrain together in a really awful, terrible way, we could maybe try out some of the gameplay over the weekend. But we'll see. We'll definitely do some Monday night or Tuesday night. We'll do a live gameplay. I was really hoping for a mat, but a board is fine too, I guess. Yeah, I kind of feel you. You know, the mats are really nice and they've got a much nice surface, but I think practically I'd rather have a fold-out board than a fold-out mat.
It folds away then.
Yeah, well, you know, mats are great. You can roll them up, but the problem is then how do you include that as part of the set? Yeah. And I've had folded mats before, and the creases never ever go away. Right, what else have we got? We've got the core rulebook, Skirmish Combat in the Mortal Realms. Let's do... I'm going to zoom in a little bit for you guys so you can kind of see, hopefully, some of the content. We've got the 8 points, so a whole bunch of background fluff by the looks of it, going through the Bloodwind Spoil, the Iron Golem, so this is going through the teams. Yep. Then you're into playing Warcry, starting at page 32, so the core rules kick in at page 32 and end at page 50, so it's giving you an idea of what's going off. Fighting ability cards, general rules, setting up a battle, the battle round, move actions, attack actions. You've got open play, narrative play, and match play. Interesting. Like the format. There's a campaign section. Conquer the Forge, Curse Metal, Hunt for Fire Scar. Good name. War of Talons. Hunger of Sisyphus. Yeah, we'll go with Sisyphus. Spy in the House of Talons. Nice, easy words to pronounce there. Right, we've got some lighting issue because these pages are super shiny. So what I'm going to do is tilt the book so you can kind of see them. But some incredible artwork of the 8 points there. And let's just see if we have a quick flip through some of this. This wonderful kind of graphic style to the teams themselves. You know what this reminds me of? This kind of reminds me of the movie 300.
I was just thinking that, yeah.
Yeah. And you know, Games Workshop, that, you know, I wouldn't go so far as to say they've copied that style. I would say they are paying homage to it. Is always a better way of saying it, I think. But of course, some beautiful colour artwork as well inside here. Look at these chaos creatures. I know I'm having to tilt the book, folks, sorry, but the pages are super shiny, so that's going to make filming difficult, so I hope you don't mind that. Right, what else have we got? Well, we can see... Yeah, okay, some background stories, and then we're into the Seekers of Power, so it looks like we've got some nice stuff on. Actually, a good look at the model. I love that Ogre Breacher. The Signifier, the Dominar. What's really nice about this is every single model's unique. And I know that people are saying, I want to play my own factions in there, which is cool, and, you know, I hope that they can kind of build it so you can take some of your Shadespire, you know, units in there as well. I think it'd be great if they do the crossover, and then I know that you can play, you know, like ogres and things inside this game as well, because they've released rules, haven't they, for the factions, or they plan to release rules for all the factions. But it is nice to see these gangs, each with a unique model.
So, just the pictures of us, I can't wait to actually see them.
That's
painted.
Incredible. You can see them here, by the way, playing against Nighthaunt. So, not even spectral Nighthaunts can stand before the brutish might of an Ogre Breacher. Yeah, right. We'll see what happens in gameplay, that's what I say. Let's have a quick look at the gangs, because this is probably a good place to start. So we've got the Cypher Lords.
I like those.
They've been well looked at. Yeah, they're incredible. And of course they are going to be the faction I do. We've got the Corvus Cabal. And the Unmade and the Splintered Fang as well. Oh, Splintered Fang are quite cool models. Oh, wow. I'm not sure which faction I'm going to do now.
All of them, probably.
And then we're into the core rules, and I'm not going to go through every single page by page on the core rules, but as you can see, let's just go through what these were then. So we've got an activation token, we've got a weight token, an objective marker, damage token, which is what we suspected. Number 6 is special tokens. Number 7, initiative token, and 5 are all treasure tokens. There you go. Should have known, because of course the background of the game is all about seeking treasure, isn't it?
Yeah, the 8 points is full of treasure.
Yep. Yeah. I'm just going to actually try and reset this camera as well, just and see if that's going to work. I'll be amazed if it does, but we can try, can't we? So you never know. When we cut to that one, we'll see if it works. Shall we? What else is it? Well, let's have a quick flip through the book, just so people have got a sense of layout, really. So let's have a look at move actions here. So we've got, a fighter can change their position on the battlefield by making a move action. Every fighter has a move characteristics, which is shown on the fighter card. This determines the number of inches a fighter can move in total in a single move action. When a fighter makes a move action, there are 4 types of move: normal move, jumping, climbing, and flying. So this was one of the big concerns. It's a combat-heavy game. It's close quarter. Terrain tends not to be a faction, a factor.
Yeah.
Unless they build it into the very core of the book itself, because what tends to happen is terrain is just an inconvenience and people move around it.
Yeah.
What's interesting is it's scenario driven. So this isn't place your terrain anywhere you want. You draw a card and it shows
the layout.
Yeah. And then you've got rules which clearly bring the element of jumping and climbing into the terrain element. Has the 3D element of the game has a factor in gameplay.
Yeah,
which is important.
You've got there's so much variety in what objectives you might be aiming for that you can't plan too much ahead.
Yeah.
So
I don't think this is like an arena game where you just throw people in a fight.
No.
That's the whole thing, and I think Games Workshop are smart enough in their games design now to understand that that's not enough for most people. There's got to be more. One of the great things about Age of Sigmar is the fact that it is a scenario game. If you don't play the mission, you lose the game, and it's really interesting to see. We saw this at the tournament recently. Is you can be completely outgunned, you can be completely out meleeed, but you can still win if you play the mission smarter than your opponent.
Definitely on that one.
I'm not saying I'm a professional by any means, but we won more than we lost.
I can't say the same.
You can't say the same. Let's see if no, we haven't got a working camera, so we're just going to do that and not worry about it. Let's catch up with the chat while before we start looking at some of the cards and talking a little bit more about what's in the book. Shall we stick a bit of terrain over here? Why not? So we've got in the chat. My mouse pointer has gone missing. New book, new box smell. I wish this was smell-o-vision. It smells beautiful. No, I can't share any more with you than that. Frost and Fist says, hey there, beautiful people. So Frost is joining us. Those Untamed Beast minis drool, says Melanie. Too right, they're amazing. I was hoping for an awesome female barbarian mini to swap out for my D&D game. My berserkers need a pretty mini. There isn't one in there, is there? Is there Untamed in the Untamed Beast? I don't think there is a female, is there? But
I don't see
or
one,
is there?
But
it's a shame if not. There is that faction, isn't there, that came out with Shadespire that had some pretty cool characters in. The Dark Oath War Queen is pretty awesome looking, says Amit. I like Iron's look without helmets on the side, but all models have helmets, ? Well, we'll check out. What have we got here then? Kit Basher head swap, says Alan Cluley. Well, this is the thing, isn't it? These models are probably open for kit bashing, really. I mean, of course, they're in the style of some of the more recent designs, so they're a little bit more difficult to repose, but it can be done. What I'm going to do, I'm going to zoom in and we're going to have a look at just some of this terrain up close, so you can kind of see the level of detail in each one of those pieces. Just pop a dice next to that to give you an idea. And this is what we were saying about the terrain. It's absolutely exquisite. The level of detail, even the texture. Can you guys see that? The texture within that archway there? That's incredible. And again, just these little, right there, the little fractures on the stone. I mean, wow. They've really worked this one up. This is interesting as well, this little pile of rubble here, look. With Idun Deepkin vases in there as well. Those Idun Deepkin vases get everywhere. They just leave them littered around everywhere.
So careless.
Yeah, you think they'd look after them, but clearly, I suppose it's only like the Greeks. Ancient Greeks left vases everywhere, scattered around the globe, didn't they? So very useful for us, though, to be able to understand more about their culture. This is the... What am I talking about?
I don't even know.
This is the Sigmar face. This is looking amazing. And then we've got these weird spikes.
Like barricade, like the spikes in it, yeah.
They are just carved branches, aren't they? Sharpened up.
Yeah.
It's quite nice to see this kind of wooden terrain.
Bridges and everything.
Yeah.
Between the terrain.
Which is weird, isn't it? Because you've got this like ruins, and they're clearly trying to. Well, it's in the missions, isn't it? Some of them you are trying to attack. Some kind of defences or something, aren't you? So of course they're going to try and shore up the defences and, put floors in where floors have collapsed.
Yeah, because that's the edge of a floor, isn't it? And they've just
stuck
room to move.
Wow. You made me yawn then.
Look at Thanks, Phil.
That's all right. No, I mean, I thought you were yawning, so I yawned. You did. It's, that weird reaction you get when somebody does something and you do it at the same time. Right, we've seen... This is duplicates now, so there's clearly some duplicates within the spruce. I'm going to turn that around so you wonderful people can just see how cool this ironwork is here. You know what really worries me about hacking this together so we can look at the gameplay is it kind of feels like the terrain deserves more. But, as long as I clean it up, it'll be fine. Maybe we can sit here all night and put this terrain together. We'll just keep the show running live for like 12 hours while we construct the terrain. What else have we got?
More bridges, it looks like.
Yeah, and again, this is kind of out of hot. These are like branches from a similar style of the new Sylvaneth Wildwood.
Yeah.
So I do like they've kind of followed
that
style, haven't they? Of the how the bark looks, and these are great. Look at this. These little spikes put on. I mean, clearly that fits on top of one of the buildings, so you can just add spikes, and then some great chaos symbols. Kind of into there. That's great stuff. And I love one last section. I know I'm obsessing a little bit about the terrain, but just look at the chain work in between there. That is awesome. Okay. What else have we got? We are... Wow. Okay. Where do we start? Where do we start? Have we got the instructions for how these go together? Because that might be a good place to start as well. So let's see. Okay. Right. Well, you're probably not seeing this, but there is a lot of instructions. So this is the Ogre Breacher. Should we see if we can track the Ogre Breacher down? Let's have a quick look at how this fellow's looking. He looks pretty ogre-ish, doesn't he? We're looking at A31. Oh, he's got to be there. We are. Look. So there's A31. So that's him. So how does he scale up, say, against... what models have we got within reach? I tell you what, I will be back in a second. Mark, you just have a quick look through that spro, and I'm going to see if I can grab something.
Okay, so it looks like legs and some of the arms come separately. This guy's got 2 hammers, and I think from other sprues, yeah, it looks like some of them have partial bodies, some legs. I'm sure a lot of you will be able to get some good conversion working. That's you got one?
I'm back. Yeah, well, look at the size of this. So this is, admittedly, this is a Fire Slayer on his tippy toes. And as you can see, that guy's pretty brutish, isn't he? Because Fire Slayers are by no means a small model to start with, but as you can see, his kind of shoulders are level with the top of a Grimwrath Berserker's hair. What a terrible paint job he's got. Let's put him away. Let's compare him to a little skink instead. Look, he's barely knee-high to an ogre. Great models. Again, fantastic detail. We're seeing a lot. This plate work here is wonderful. Yeah, he does have some weird looking weapon there. His whole arm is a hammer.
Why not?
Why not? And not only is it a hammer, it's a hammer with spikes on the end.
Looks like what is it? One of the meat
tenderizer.
Meat tenderizer, yeah.
That's basically what he is. He's just a giant meat tenderizer.
He's a walking meat tenderizer.
Nice toes as well. Love to see well-formed toes. Yeah, he's got a little. Looks like he's got a callus there. Okay, so just having a look at this. Let's see if we can find this, because this has got the kind of more delicate chain work. This stuff always scares the heebie-jeebies out of me, of course.
Yeah. It's...
You know, because you know if that ever breaks, that's the end of that model. You know, you'll be doing your best to glue that for years to come. But saying that, it's a price that you pay for diamondism in the pose, really, isn't it? We just have a look at this. This pose down here is quite incredible, where you've got the chain sort of whipping around the model, and he's also holding a flail as well. So we've got this flail part here. Oh my goodness, is that the right word? I think it is a flail.
I think so, yeah.
We're going to go with flail. Someone will correct me on the chat. Look at this triple chain work with the morning stars on the end. Probably got the wrong term as well, because his morning star on the end of a stick. Who knows? But wow. They're clearly into hurting people, aren't they? Because
it's chaos, so...
yeah, every single one of their weapons is quite painful looking. The muscle work on this is incredible. Games Workshop sculptors are just great now, aren't they? They just hit it out of the park every time. It's incredible. Wow, great armor work there. Should we check out the chat? I'm looking at the border statues. I'm not quite. I don't know where we're coming into there, but let's come back. Need to know before the Great British Pound tanks. Oh, you're looking for when it will be available.
How much?
It will be going on pre-order. I don't know how much it's going on pre-order for, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's 100, 120, somewhere around about that mark. Dave Dog says, hello. Anybody in the chat know how essential the cards are in the box, or can they be used with any race? If not, does that mean there will be cards released for every faction and race? They've already announced that, haven't they?
I'm not sure.
So we've only got cards for the team,
yeah.
But on the community side, I'm absolutely certain that they're releasing cards for the rest of the factions. So in fact, we can actually have a quick look at this while we've got people on the chat. So this is the new website that's launched. So you can find this at ageofsigmar.com. And if you check out the factions here, actually, if I come, Warcry linked in there. So you get into the skirmish combat. You've got the war bands there, which kind of go through that. And I'm pretty certain, as you can see, Strike at Chaos. You've got Stormcast Eternals, Daughters of Cain, Iden of Deepkin. Inside Death, we have Night, Haunt, Legions of Nagash. So, Sir Nagash out there, hopefully you'll be pleased. Flesh Eater Corpse, and inside Destruction, we've got Gloomspite, Iron Jaws, and Bone Splitters. Now, that's probably a starting point, because not everything is represented in there.
No.
There's certainly a lack of dwarves in there. But I think it's, it's for now, it's where they've made a start. And as you can see, what the Stormcast Eternals look like. Oh, this is interesting. So you can actually order this, where you get these 5 models. An Evil Wing, a Griffard, a Vanguard Hunter. Wow, what a great way of topping up your army. Wow, I'm just going to check out Iden of Deepkin. Okay, so you get the idea. How did we do that?
You go back to the Age of Sigmar page.
I
Warcry
clicked
page.
too fast. So let's have a look at this. Iden of Deepkin, what's in there? Oh, a couple of eels. That's exactly what you need.
Because you don't have enough.
Actually, what happens when you hit order now? Can you actually order that, or no? You just have to order the models separately. Oh well. Never mind. Ignore me on that one. Right. Nothing's working today. Oh wait, it is. Nope. Yep, it is. Back to the sprues. Each warband will have their own ward car, I believe. I think they are general use. Okay, that's a whole bunch of people thanking people. What have we got? £5 each for the cards for the factions, which will be cool. And Nazgub says hi all, and all the best from Ireland. So hey, thank you for joining us. One of those cards bring a tear to my eye. I didn't see Nurgle cards either. They will come. You know they will come. What else have we got to have a look at? What the?
I think that's the other.
Okay, so we're into one of the other faction models now. I'm hoping again that this stuff's showing up. Yeah, I think we've got not too much zoom and just enough for you to be able to see the detail on some of these models.
Untamed Beasts.
This is incredible. So we've got the weird little creatures, of course. So this is one of those beasties that can hang around with them. This is your... I can't remember the name of it in terms of the character, how it works, but essentially you can send that beastie in, and it's kind of like an uber powerful attack. It's like setting my German Shepherd onto a rabbit. You know, something horrible like that. So you know who's going to win, basically, I think is the idea. Just look at the sculpts on these. They're incredible. That's a female character, isn't it?
Yeah, it looks like it.
Yeah, it is. It's actually and surprisingly controlled, self-controlled by the designers there as well, because that actually looks quite authentic. I think, you know, they're not too worried about it being muscular and those kind of things. This is a warrior at the end of the day, isn't it? Yeah. Can you find that one? That'd be interesting. I'm really impressed with their weapons. This is the jaw off something. It's like the bottom jaw off a beastie, look. That's incredible. This is what I was saying about the kind of difficulty in converting the pose, though. I think a lot of the times, whilst each model is unique, the reality is it's quite different to do something. It's going to be incredibly difficult to repose that arm, for instance. But the point is, each model's unique anyway, so you don't really need to repose them, I don't think.
No, and if those who want to will find a way.
Yeah, they'll find a way.
Yeah.
Wow, these weapons are incredible. Okay, what else have we got? Let's put that to one side. Let's just get this again. More wonderful detail. The fur's really good, actually. Sometimes it kind of goes a bit awry. It can look a bit like wet tears, but they've actually got quite a good fur texture going there. I'm hoping that's on camera. No, it's not. Good move. Okay. And I want to take a couple of seconds just to have a look at the wee flying creatures so people can see the detail on the wings. So these are the Chaos Beasties roaming the lands, is it, that you get with it? Yeah, so either side can take control of these, I believe. Those wings are incredible. The bat wings, they're beautiful.
We'll see some conversions from them.
Yeah, wow, look at these. That's nice. I love the collar thing to it as well. This is that weird little spine collar that you've got going off there as well. Okay, incredible stuff. I hope that you're enjoying seeing a kind of a close-up of the detail. I know it's not quite as good as seeing the models built, but at least you're getting an idea of what's on the sprue. What else have we got? Another sprue of beasties, and that looks like identical sprue, so I think you've got two of those. That is terrifyingly delicate, that piece, look.
Oh yeah.
Look how they've had to protect that with that kind of offshoot there, just to keep that wing red, but look at how much movement's in that piece. Wow, he says, putting it to one side. Okay, so that's the sprues covered. We could have a look at the decks now. Do you want to pass the cards over? Let's have a quick look at some of this, and we'll probably, unless there's any questions... Alright, where are we now? I'm just having a look at the chat now. Looks like a girlie in there with a whip, says Melanie Dawn. Agreed. Dave says, who remembers that rumour regarding new high elves, light elves, maybe a unified elf battle tome? Rumour itself, the rumour itself was high fantasy. Well, there are rumours around the high elf faction. Let's face it, whatever the high elves were, they will be something new, and it will be exciting to see them, no doubt. So, we'll no doubt... when you've seen the Slaaneshi releases and all the rest, it makes sense that, you know, that narrative around Slaanesh and being entombed by the kind of high elf king gods, something's going to happen. Yeah. And we'll see them. We'll see them, and they will be amazing, no doubt, because can you just imagine what these reimagined goodies are going to look like if they're putting this much dynamic posing into weird little chaotic beasts. So we're just going through this. These cards then basically just cover the chaotic beast, but you also have... What is this? So these are an ability card for a faction. Let's zoom out a little bit because I didn't realise I was so close. So we've got an ability card for a faction. Let's just have a quick example. So here are your doubles. You can do Savage Fury, add 1 to move characteristics, and we'll kind of not go through the full rule. There's a double all-out attack. A fighter can use this ability only if the enemy fighter is taken down by an attack action made by them this activation. This fighter makes a bonus move action or a bonus attack action. So it's kind of like, fighting on.
Yeah.
Beastmaster, pick a visible fighter with a beast rune mark within 4 inches of the fighter. That fighter make a bonus attack. So you get the idea how you spend your doubles. And then, of course, there are some triples. So let's just go into the quad. You need 4 dice out of your 6 that match.
Yep.
If you get that, you get Unleash the Beast. Until the end of the battle round, add half the value of this ability, rounding up to the attacks, strength characteristics of attack actions made by this fighter that have a range characteristics of 3 or less. So you kind of see how this ramps up. Again, another card for the Iron Golem people. This is going to be an interesting game to try and play out.
So we got individual cards for the fighters.
Okay.
So they're...
Throw me the rulebook over. Let's see if we can find out what these stats are. Maybe you have a quick...
So I believe it's movement, toughness, and wounds, I would imagine. And then I think some of them have several weapon options that you can...
Okay, so here we go. This in the top corner here, that's your faction rune mark, of course. You've got an image of the fighter. That's useful to know. Can you? If you could tilt that so the cameras aren't quite kicking off of it. You do indeed. Number 3. So this is, you're right. Move characteristics.
Yeah.
We have a toughness over there and wounds over there. So 20 wounds to that guy.
Yeah, there's a lot of wounds flying around.
So you're not removing models super quick. This is a game where you need to do a lot of damage.
No. That's where your critical hits come in there, because it doubles the damage.
Of course. And double damage is a lot of damage.
Yeah.
Points value, number 6. So 175 versus 125.
It's quite high.
There,
I don't know
give you
what
the standard gameplay is. Well, that's what we'll work out over the weekend, and we'll come back with some play tests. Fighter's first weapon is number 7, so this is their first weapon.
Yeah, and some of them
likes to hit people with a big hammer.
More than one, so you get a choice.
Nice. 12 would be fighter's second weapon, actually. So that's their second weapon, first weapon. And if we look at the first weapon, that is range characteristics, so it's how far you can hit with it. Nice. We've also got in there, that looks like 9 attack characteristics, so it's the amount of dice you roll. And then you've got strength and damage.
Yeah, so the first number is your normal hit and the second number is your critical hit damage.
Okay. Flip this over. What's on the other side then?
The symbol.
Right, okay then. Okay, that's great. So you get an idea of how your stats work. Nice and straightforward, nice and simple.
Deck for each, plus a deck for the beast as well. I'm not
also
sure.
It's called a divider card. I'm not quite sure where it comes into play at this point, but it's got 1, 2, and 3 on it.
On the other side, it's got 6, so I'm not sure.
I wonder if that's when you roll your dice, you can put them down or something like that. But we are completely guessing what you use a divider card for. So we'll find that out and have a look at that. Let's break out the 4 decks and see what we would draw for a game.
Okay, where should we start?
The lists are 1,000 points, says Coleman. Who remembers the Dispossessed? No, I don't remember Dispossessed. Do you? I don't know. There was something like old school fantasy players used to play that. Hey Coleman, how you doing?
Double wrapped cards.
I've messed up. I've done that where you open it but not open it and make it a lot harder on yourself. There's nothing happening on camera right now, so let's see if we can get... there you go. Big Rich says hey, hey, hey. Right, so what have we got? Oh, I see what you mean by double wrapped. That's. Oh,
I've just done the same thing. I've just wrapped it, unwrapped it.
Oh, look, we should have done this before though. Can I?
There we go.
Oh, how are you doing? Yeah, let's start with the
cards.
So let's have a quick look at this. We're going to zoom in on some of the battlefield cards just to give you an idea of how they work. So let's go in there, and I will tilt them up so you can see them, of course. So the idea is you have a deck, you draw from the deck, and that denotes to you what the battlefield looks like. So as you can see, you then set your terrain up. So it's important you build your terrain in...
all of it.
Well, you need to build all of it, but also you need to build your terrain in a way that makes sense to this game. So as you can see, there are 4 raised platforms, 1 in each corner. And then, of course, we've got like little bits of terrain dividing up there. So the idea is you literally draw one of these cards, and that denotes what the battlefield looks like. Let's have a look at a couple of examples then. So we do have, for instance, ones where it's kind of a cluster across the centre and dividing in many respects, dividing the table into two. We've got almost like a keep in the centre of the table there. That looks more like a street fight, kind of urban stuff, where you've got a space between buildings. Again, the kind of central divider point. This is an interesting one, of course, because what you've got here looks like a fort, and then some barricades and access to it. And the idea is you need to kind of attack that. So you've got your two factions fighting over it, and then some of that just look like a large and a small building in the middle of the terrain. I'm not going to go through all of these because there's 36 of them, and it gets a bit messy, as you can see. It gets messy as time goes on. There's a bit of a bridge there. In fact, I think that's the head, which has got like a rampart above it and like almost like a watchtower on the head, which is really cool.
That's cool.
So what else have we got there? You've been busy opening decks.
Twist cards.
Wow.
So this is the random elements or extra rules for the game.
So, okay, let's just take the first one. Add 1 to attack and strength characteristics of all fighters with this battle with 1 or more damage points. So the twist to this game is anybody with 1 or more damage points adds 1 to the attack and strength characteristics. So it's a Bloodwind, a particularly brutal game, no doubt. We also have Winds of Fate. Players roll 7 initiative dives instead of 6, giving you a little bit more room to play. We've got the Winds of Rot. Add 1 to toughness characteristics. It looks like Papa Nurgle's come in. Good old, I love Papa Nurgle, by the way. He's the most misunderstood Chaos God.
He's so happy.
He's just a happy chappy, loving his garden. Dead of Night. No ability or attack can be used to target an enemy fighter more than 3 inches away. So that represents fighting in the pitch black. That's pretty cool. Yeah. I like that. What else have we got? Hidden Predators. This has got loads of words. The players roll off. The winner can set up any number of Celtic beasts on the battlefield with a combined points value of 400 or less. The Celtic beasts must all share the same combination of rune marks and be set up as a single group, with each 1 inch of another from the group, each within 1 inch of a terrain feature, and each more than 5 inches away from any other fighter.
That's a lot
so
of conditions.
Basically, it's a few conditions, definitely, but it's a whole bunch of hidden predators around the table, which are going to mess you up. You know what's interesting about this is we're just going to see a whole bunch of different predators released, aren't we? We are going to see Korgoroths and stuff like that just wandering through the battlefild. Just like when they released the troll into Shadespire.
The giant.
The Troggoth. Yeah. Because there's a great show on Warhammer TV. I think it's one of the podcasts where they talked about the kind of creative decision of adding, you can't put something as big as a Troggoth in Shadespire. And then they kind of worked it out and went, actually, you can. That's going to be fun. Yeah. So maybe we'll see the Korgoroth rampaging around again. There's too many words on that one. Add 1 to strength characteristics of attack actions made by fighters in this battle that have a range characteristics of 3 or less. So there's a bit of a grudge match going off. I like that. I like it. Every game, you can build your list as much as you want, but then along comes a twist which kind of messes up everything and potentially makes somebody else's army way more powerful than yours.
Yeah. So we got setup there.
So
this is deployment.
Yeah, I mean, if only we knew what that meant. Round 2, one would guess. Round 2. So that's where you deploy. So one would assume that's where you deploy to start with.
And then any reserves
and then you can come on. So hence the game escalates. What else have we got? The duel. Quite simply, 6 inches from the edge, you can put some dudes. And then in round 2, you can come on from over there or anywhere within that edge or anywhere within that edge or that corner. One would assume. But again, we're guessing here from what it says. But again, so you get your terrain set up and it seems to make sense what you're going to do. And then you find out actually nobody's near that clump of terrain or
that nice fortress at one side no one has. And the final set is the victory conditions.
Which, of course, is the all-important one. Let's see what we've got. Starting... Is this on camera? Yes, it is. Starting with the player who won the priority roll, players take it in turn to set up 2 treasure tokens each, anywhere on a platform, more than 4 inches from the battlefield edge and more than 4 inches from any other treasure. The battle ends after 3 battle rounds. When the battle ends, the player who has the most fighters carrying treasure wins the battle. I
Battle
love
rounds
that.
isn't long. That's quite a quick. I suppose it's quite
But
confined,
there's
though, isn't
activation
it?
across each model,
Yeah.
so there's
it'll
probably a
feel a bit
lot
longer,
going off
yeah.
inside a particular battle round. You're right, though, because I was expecting models to be around for quite a while because of the high wound count.
Yeah, well, I suppose you can focus on individual models and they will.
And at the end of the day, of course, that's not about killing people. That's about grabbing treasure.
So you got to prioritise what
So
you want to do.
the fears of it just being a combat arena game kind of allied again, because it's going to actually you don't need to attack anyone. You just need to grab treasure.
Just
Then
ignore
the
everyone.
only place you're going to fight is when you're fighting over treasure. You
Yeah.
know, so you're going to try and claim it.
Yeah.
In which case you want to get in, kill the baddies, and get out. Everybody's a baddie in this game, though. How do you handle that? We've got the hunted. So what does this say? The players roll off and the winner chooses who is the attacker and who is the defender. At the start of the combat phase of the second battle round, the defender picks a fighter in their warband to be the hunted one. The fighter must be on the battlefield. If a hunted one is taken down, or if at the end of the battle round the hunted one is within 4 inches of the battlefield edge, the attacker wins the battle. Otherwise, after the end of the 4th battle round, the defender wins the battle. Oh, nice!
So
Yeah, go on.
That's 4 battle rounds there, so they're variable lengths depending on the mission.
And I really like games where you can win just by surviving.
Yeah.
You know, that whole playing of kind of running away and
Yeah.
whatever you need to do to kind of
Or
make
just
it.
being the toughest
Or just being
thing
the toughest,
on the field.
So there you go. If we were going to draw 4 of these, let's see if we can do this. We'll zoom out on the camera and let's see what our first game is going to be, Mr. Potter. So we got that. Right, I'm going to draw 1. So the twist is I'd want to move characteristics of all fighters. This is eager for the fight.
So ambush.
Okie dokie.
Okay.
So starting all over the table basically, and then coming in from the edges in round 2.
Yeah.
So I'll do the next one. We have got the hidden vault. The players roll off, and the winner chooses who is the attacker and who is the defender. Oh, actually, I'm going to choose a different one because I think that's the one I read, isn't it? No, that's good. The defender places 4 objectives on the battlefield, each more than 6 inches from any other objective. The defender secretly notes down which objective marks the hidden vault. At the end of the 3rd battle round, the defender reveals which objective marks the hidden vault. The player that controls the objective wins the battle.
Oh, so you have to get as many as possible to maximise your chances.
Yeah, but that's also interesting, isn't it? Because you could leave the hidden vault undefended and then try and steal it back last minute.
Yeah.
You know, because you kind of think, oh, well, wherever you could play a bluff game on that.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, you to draw.
That's all right. And the battlefield is across the centre.
What a mess. Now I've got to build all of that. Nice one, Mark. Okay, I think that where are we at? 48 minutes into the show. We're going to check the chat. Bear in mind we've got a broken camera. So I'm not quite sure what I can do to fix that during the show. It just really looks like it's not going to play. Let me just see. No, that's really not going to work, is it? So we're going to switch that off and leave it on the overhead camera for you guys. Do apologise for not being able to return our wonderful mugs to the screen. We'll just put our hands in there so you know we're here, just in case you're worried we're not here. So I'll tell you what, I will wag my hand when I'm talking and you wag your hand when you're talking. I was in a couple of shops in Spain today, and one dude was painting Warcry in one, and the other had the Warcry box open and the counter with a sprue sprawled everywhere. We are discreet here. Well, they're out at the stores, and I don't blame the stores for just getting on with it. And Games Workshop, in their own admission, have allowed me to go live with this content early because they've just pushed content live, and I think they want people to know as much as possible about this as soon as possible.
Yeah, so. I was in my local Games Workshop today, and he had it out. It was painting it all up for the weekend.
Do you mean the Games Workshop in Leamington Spa?
No, that was on in Banbury.
Oh, well, we can't tell Steve. What have we got? Lack of trogs as a playable team is a shame. I'm with you on that. But if you've watched our channel before, you are going to see a lot of trog action over the next few weeks because I am building the most beautiful. Can I show? This is completely.
We're going to have a Trogs versus Squigs.
No, I want to show these very quickly. So these are my Gemma Squigs. So they are Geminid spells, but obviously sort of unhappy spirits of dead Squigs. Legend has it that each one of these represents both Gork and Mork.
And Morc. Oh.
Yeah, well, Gork, you know, this one's from Gork, this one's from Morc.
Okay, yeah.
You know, they've only got one. But there's my Gemma Squigs, and that's the start of my Cho'Gath army. Admittedly, they've got a wizard to do a little bit of endless spell work. So far, there's nothing I'm not liking about Warcry, says Emmett. That's good news. No, don't get another Admech Apocalypse box set. You get yourself a Warcry. Checks her up and coming hours to see if she can afford this, and with all the Midara Kickstarter. Oh, I don't know about that. May have to sell a kidney or hook. Who needs kidneys? Right, where are we at there? Amit's even suggesting, of course, everybody's got 2 kidneys. We were naturally built with one to sell. Nazgub says, looks like a cool game ahead of us. I've already sold my soul to GW, says Amit. And David Ellis, hey David, how you doing? Just lay on the table with your face under the camera. I can't imagine anything more horrific for you people than me doing that. Right, okay, well there you go. That was our quick live look through the box. It's beautiful is my answer to that. The models are incredible. The volume of terrain you receive
is ridiculous. It's way more than I expected.
Well, the good news is you realise how much there is now, Mark, and therefore you'll feel obliged to help me build it all.
Nice try.
Oh, man. Right. Thank you very much for joining us. Sorry for the failed camera. I've no idea what happened there, but it's not come back to us. It was working fine, wasn't it? Right up
just
until
before,
we went live.
Yeah.
Which is just as freaky as hell.
Typical.
There you go. Thank you very much for joining us. Keep an eye out on the channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We will be doing more Warcry content. We'll be putting this stuff together over the weekend. And if we can get some gameplay in on, it's realistically the earliest it will be is maybe Sunday. We'll get some gameplay in because I do want to at least make a half decent attempt at the terrain, even if we're going with built models that have just been primed in alternate colours. It's probably the way they're going to have to be.
Maybe.
But at least we can try the game out and see what it's like. Thank you all very much for joining us, and we will see you again soon. I'm just going to go to end credits because all you can see is hands. See you later, folks. Bye.